We are weeks away from the Winter Olympics in Milan, and the camera that was supposed to define this generation is missing. Silence. That is all we are hearing from Nikon regarding the Z9 II. For a company that dominated the market with the original Z9, this delay is either a catastrophic failure of their supply chain or a sign that they are cooking up something so revolutionary, it simply wasn't ready to be revealed yet. Today on Tap Tech, we are tearing apart the leaks, the delays, and the authentic insider reports to answer the one question every professional photographer is asking. Is the Nikon Z9 II dead in the water, or is it about to change the industry forever? Let's be real for a second. The original Nikon Z9 was a masterpiece. When it launched, it didn't just compete, it embarrassed the competition by completely removing the mechanical shutter. It was a bold moment for Nikon. But in the tech world, for years is an eternity. We are now standing in early 2026, and the landscape is brutal. The Sony A9 III brought the global shutter to the masses. The Canon R1 is finally out in the wild. The pressure on Nikon to deliver a successor is heavier than the glass in a 600mm f/4 prime. So where is it? The elephant in the room is the timeline. Historically, flagship cameras are timed perfectly with the Olympics. The fact that the Z9 II isn't in the hands of pros yet tells us something crucial. Nikon has hit a roadblock, or they have made a strategic pivot. Authentic reports from supply chain analysts suggest that key components, specifically related to the next generation sensor and the new image processing pipeline, have seen delays. This pushes our realistic release window to late 2026. But why the delay? It is not incompetence. It is ambition. You do not delay a flagship product unless you are trying to perfect a technology that isn't quite stable yet. The rumors pointing to the new Expeed 8 processor are getting louder. The current Expeed 7 is a beast, but it is tapped out. To compete with the dedicated AI chips we are seeing in other devices, Nikon needs a new brain. The Expeed 8 isn't just about speed, it is about computational photography that happens in real time, before the raw file is even written to the card. We are talking about autofocus calculations that happen 240 times a second, tracking the iris of an athlete through a blizzard. That is what the Z9 II is targeting. Let's talk about the sensor, because this is where the war will be won or lost. There is a massive debate raging in the community regarding global shutter versus stacked CMOS. Sony went all in on global shutter. It eliminates rolling shutter artifacts completely, which is a dream for sports and flash photography. However, it comes with a penalty and dynamic range usually takes a hit. Nikon has always prioritized image quality and dynamic range above all else. The authentic consensus among insiders right now is that the Z9 II will likely not feature a pure global shutter. Instead, Nikon is aiming for a partially stacked or hyperstacked sensor design that offers readout speeds so fast that rolling shutter becomes physically impossible to see with the human eye, without sacrificing the deep, rich dynamic range landscape and portrait shooters need. The resolution is the next battleground. The Z9 sits at 45 megapixels. It is the sweet spot. But the market is moving. Rumors of a 60 megapixel sensor have been circulating since late 2025. A 60MP sensor with the low-light performance of the current Z9 would be an engineering marvel. This would separate the Z9 II from the Z8 significantly, positioning the Z8 as the mini flagship and the Z9 II as the studio and stadium hybrid monster. However, higher megapixels mean slower files. If Nikon pushes to 60MP, that Expeed 8 processor has to work twice as hard to maintain the 20 or 30 frames per second raw burst rates that pros demand. Now, we have to address the acquisition that changed everything. Nikon bought Red Digital Cinema. This wasn't just a business move, it was a technology injection. The Z9 II will be the first flagship camera developed fully after this acquisition started to bear fruit. What does this mean for you? It means internal video specs that might make dedicated cinema cameras sweat. We are looking at the potential for REDCODE RAW internal recording. Imagine shooting true, compressed red RAW in a mirrorless body. The current N RAW is fantastic, but REDCODE DE is the industry standard for Hollywood. If Nikon puts authentic red color science and compression algorithms into the Z9 II, it becomes the default B camera for every major production house in Los Angeles and New York. We are also hearing whispers about 12-bit recording improvements and potentially open-gate recording. Open-gate allows you to use the full height of the sensor, which is crucial for creators who need to crop for vertical social media content without losing quality. The current Z9 is a video beast, but the Z9 II could be a video revolution. The rumor mill suggests 8K at 60 frames per second is a lock. The real question is whether they will push for 8K 120 frames per second. It sounds insane, and the heat dissipation required would be massive, but if anyone can engineer a heatsink to handle it, it is the team that built the Z9. Let's shift gears to the body and ergonomics. The Z9 is a tank. It is heavy, it is big, and pros love it for that. Do not expect the Z9 II to get smaller. If anything, the grip might get deeper. Authentic feedback from working pros has highlighted that while the Z9 is comfortable, the vertical grip buttons could use better tactile differentiation. We expect the Z9 II to feature refined button placement, perhaps illuminated buttons like the D6 had. This is a feature sorely missed by night photographers. The electronic viewfinder is another area ripe for upgrade. The current blackout-free EVF is bright, but the resolution is lower than Sony's top tier. The Z9 II is almost guaranteed to jump to a 9.44 million EVF. When you look through that viewfinder, it needs to look like real life, not a screen. This is a premium feature for a premium audience. Now, let's talk about the software. AI is the buzzword of the decade, but for Nikon, it means autofocus deep learning. The Z9 already recognizes cars, people, birds, and planes. The Z9 II needs to recognize intent. We are talking about algorithms that understand the game being played, knowing that in basketball, the ball moves towards the hoop, and pre-focusing accordingly. This predictive AI is the next frontier. It is not just about locking onto an eye, it is about locking onto the eye before the subject even turns around. But here is the kicker, and the part that might hurt your bank account. The price. The original Z9 launched at an incredibly aggressive price point. It undercut the competition. Do not expect that generosity this time. Inflation, component shortages, and the integration of RED technology mean the Z9 II will almost certainly command a premium. We are projecting a price point between $6,000 and $6,500. It is a steep climb, but for a camera that replaces your still body, your cinema camera, and your high-speed camcorder, the value proposition is still there. So, should you wait? If you are a professional making money with your gear today, the current Z9 is still 95% of what you need. It is not obsolete. However, if you are an enthusiast who wants the absolute bleeding edge, or a hybrid shooter who needs those RED video codecs, the Z9 II is going to be worth the wait. The delay is painful. Missing the Olympics is a marketing blow. But Nikon is a company of engineers, not marketers. They would rather be late and perfect than early and flawed. The Z9 II is coming. It is going to be heavy, it is going to be expensive, and it is going to be absolutely magnificent. The silence from Nikon isn't emptiness, it is the calm before the storm. Now I want to hear from you. Does the lack of a global shutter kill the hype for you, or is the dynamic range of a stacked sensor more important for your work? And seriously, how much are you willing to pay for this beast? Let me know your price cap in the comments below. I will be replying to the first 50 comments, so let's get a debate going. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button. I am from Tap Tech, keeping you ahead of the curve. Catch you in the next one.